As we're in the air, there was like some type of pump. They were pumping something in the ground. One of them looks back at us and he's like, we're having trouble with our landing gear. Imagine you in the on a flight, the pilot gets on and says, hey, landing gear is broken.
So you can't sleep, baby, I know that's that means it's so.
Hey guys, it's Caviar
and Wings.
I'm Sahar.
Kelly.
And we have a special guest with us today.
Ta-da!
Ta-da, Amanda!
Aw, I love the little warm welcome. Hi, ladies.
Happy to have you.
Thanks for having me on Caviar Wings.
Happy to have you finally.
Thank you for being here, Amanda. Tell the world where you're from and who you are.
Absolutely.
And what you do.
I am from Miami. We're in Miami right now. So from Miami, I am a multifaceted on-air talent, TV host, content creator, producer, entrepreneur, and also have my own podcast. So make sure you guys follow Elevate Hers and check that out.
Definitely check it out. It is so good. Yes.
Thank you.
So, as a fellow podcaster,
Hi. You got to support our podcast. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to get into our girl chat.
Yes, for sure. So, most importantly, Caviar Wings.
Ooh.
What type of
Don't let us
girl
down.
do you consider yourself?
I'm wings.
Really?
All flats.
All flats. I love a restaurant that lets you order all
my
flats.
goodness. And if it's extra, I'm paying extra. If it's extra for the flats, I'm getting it.
Gotta be all flats.
But I like caviar, but I feel like I'm just kind of getting into it. Like, I don't know, like, we had caviar in the Bahamas.
Yes.
Like, I don't, like, I can't go and
Was
order.
that your first experience?
No,
with
I've had it before.
Okay.
I've had it a few times. I've gotten it from Whole Foods and all these different places. But I feel like I'm not a connoisseur. I'm a connoisseur of wings. Like, I can
Okay.
blindfold
That's fair.
me and I can tell you which wings are from which restaurant. Like, that's how good I am at wings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's impressive.
Yeah.
So, what type of wings are you ordering? Besides, we know they're flats, but seasoning.
Lemon pepper.
Oh,
lemon pepper. I'm not a fried hard kind of girl.
No.
I do not like them overly cooked.
She likes them soft.
Yeah, tender.
The wings, that is.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, but in that case, look.
I'm sorry.
This is getting
In that case, fry 'em up.
That one left quick.
Real
But,
quick.
but yeah, I love wings. I'm a wings girl.
Okay, well, that's fair.
Fair.
So, your relationship with travel, because
Yes.
obviously we are a travel podcast. We love talking about all things travel. Is it a love, like, infatuated, obsessed? What kind of relationship do you have with travel?
First of all, who's coming on here and saying that they hate traveling? Because that sounds absolutely insane.
You'd be surprised.
No, you will.
Well, there's different levels too. Some people are like,
Yeah.
look,
I mean, if
just
it's
a
work,
means.
yeah.
Some people, it's the air that I breathe, and
That's
I
true.
can't make it without traveling for more than, like, if I don't travel for more than a few weeks,
Yeah.
I just start going stir crazy. So that's all.
No, I get it.
Are you one of those? Like, do you need it to?
I love traveling.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always excited to like explore new areas, new people, new experiences. So for me, traveling is always like a good refresher and just like always like I'm on my eat, pray, love. When I go to like places that I've never been to, like they're, you know, like when I went to Bali, I felt like that. I loved it there. It was like, like, you know, I came back a new person. Like I'm one of those people. I go travel to kind of like regroup and get, you know.
I feel like I
if
come
it's
back
not work
smarter.
related. Yeah.
Every time.
It does. So this week we are taking everyone to the Bahamas.
Yay.
That's exciting. And we picked the Bahamas for a couple of reasons. You spent New Year's there this past New Year's, obviously the most recent New Year's. But we took a trip there as well.
We did.
And
our first trip together.
Our first trip together.
Y'all left me.
We had you in spirit because you know me.
You were no. Let me tell you. Let me be
Was she
very
supposed to be
clear.
there?
She was supposed to be there.
What happened, Kelly?
She was literally supposed to be there.
Y'all didn't have enough room on the PJ for me and my baby. And I'm not gonna leave my baby.
I know that's right. We had room.
We had room. He didn't have a passport. That's what it was, and she kept.
Oh, you're right. That's what it was.
Yeah. She kept getting all these delays with getting his passport.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
They gave me
missed
the
you.
blues. Next time I'm there.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll have to have you on the next
But
one.
we had a
PJ.
really, really good time.
We did.
It was a lot of fun. So we got to share all the things about Bahamas. But before we do, because we're going to tell you all the places we stayed, places we went to eat, all the stuff that's really, really good there. But tell us about how you developed your relationship with travel. Like, when did it start? Did you start traveling early? Like, what was your first trip out of the country? How did you feel? Where was it to? Like, share a little bit about your relationship with.
Yeah, I think travel has kind of, I guess, always been a part of me from, I guess, my child from birth, I guess, because both my parents are from the islands.
Which
so
ones?
My mom is Jamaican,
Okay.
and my dad's Haitian.
Okay.
So my first ever international trip was probably when I was 7 years old. I'll never forget. Maybe even younger than that. Like between the ages of 5 and 7, I went to Haiti for the first time.
Oh.
And so like that was like a different experience for me because growing up, like my mom packed like my clothes in one bag, then I had like my snacks and stuff because you know Haiti is a third world country, so we had to like pack snacks and things that she knew I would want as a kid to make sure I felt like I was at home. But it was one of the best trips ever. Like I have pictures and videos that I always relive in those moments, and I used to travel a lot there to Haiti. But that's when like my first international travel experiences.
Okay.
And then just throughout the years, I've just been traveling to different places and
Yeah.
exploring the world.
All right, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
we'll get into like what some of the favorite ones are and so forth. But let's talk about the Bahamas.
Let's talk about it.
The
Let's do
Bahamas
it.
was actually my first trip as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
That's my first passport.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nassau?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, where else?
Yeah.
But they have so many islands.
They do.
Whenever I think of the Bahamas, I think of kids. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I always go there with my son, and I feel like it's a very kid-friendly place.
It is, especially with the Atlantis and
Yeah,
the water parks.
but
and
you
all
can
that.
make it sexy. Like I love the One and Only out there. So the One and Only is a little bit more boutique. It's a little bit more elevated. It's not too far from, you know, where all the other larger resorts are, and it's pretty dope there.
It is. I agree. And you know what I think is unique? Us being in Miami. Kelly, we gotta get you come to Miami. too.
I know. We've been working on it. We've been working on
to Miami. But what I love about being here from South Florida, is how close it is to us. I've taken day trips with my girls to Bimini on speedboats that will get you there in like under an hour and 30 minutes, and literally spend the entire day there, come back at night, and it's like, where do you know in the United States that you can go to the Bahamas and come right back and be in the States?
If
Like,
I
it's
lived
great.
here, I would be gone all the time because everything is so close.
It
When you
is.
talk about like the Caribbean, everything is like right there.
Yeah, it's a good like quick getaway.
And sometimes you just need some R&R.
This is so
like,
true.
Yeah.
So true.
Like I feel like our trip was it R&R? I made it R&R. Everybody else went and
it
hung out.
was a combination of both.
It was multiple people on this trip, and it was a really, really good time.
How long did you guys stay?
Like four days.
So you know what was interesting is that we all got there the same time. So it was a long weekend, and for some reason, Amanda felt like she needed a trunk.
Oh God.
Oh, you're one of those?
She's one of those.
You're one of those?
If you go to our YouTube, there's a video on there that shows how many bags her and her guest packed to go on this trip. And it's unreal. It's like, folks, we're going to the islands. How much space do your bikinis and swim trunks take?
So funny.
So you know what's so funny? That's one of my goals for this year actually, is to be a better packer.
Be a lighter packer?
Yeah, I
We
need to
can
be a
teach
lighter
you.
packer. Please
Yeah.
teach me.
We
can
Please
teach you.
teach me, because I'm like doing away with the packing cubes. I think they just creep.
No, they work.
I don't think
for
so.
extended periods.
I don't think they work.
The packing cubes. If I have like multiple destinations in my trip, and it's like, okay, let me organize my fits by destination, so I don't have to undo my entire suitcase to like get an outfit out. Clutch.
Yeah, see, not for me, but I always like to have options. And then my other thought process, let me know if you guys feel me on this, is I'm like, what if I get stranded in this place? God forbid, I want to make sure I have enough clothes,
You go shopping.
underwear,
So they have
things.
stores
You go shopping?
that you can walk into, and they
She met me one time in Iceland and they lost her bag.
in Iceland.
Now, Iceland. Like,
Wow.
it's not like,
I had nothing.
hey, I'm in New York with no clothes. Like,
Right,
we're
right,
in
right.
Iceland.
And,
She had-
and as
Oh
soon
my
as we
God.
got off the plane, we had like a glacier hike or something
Yeah.
planned the next morning. Like we landed late at night, and then the next morning, first thing, it was like, oh, we're gonna go hike this glacier, and it's prepaid for. And it's like, I'm not gonna miss hiking on this glacier.
Oh my goodness.
But even in that situation, ultimately, we just went shopping.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
went shopping.
That's
So
true.
don't
That's
think
just a reason
about
to
that
shop.
anymore.
That's a reason to shop. But then you know when you shop for the trip, it's like you want to make sure you have your clothes that you
Well,
shop.
she had a trunk full full
For the
of
Bahamas?
trunks for the Bahamas.
I didn't have a trunk. I had a large suitcase.
I roll in with my little carry-on, and I'm like, wait, hold on, is this trip longer than I thought it was? I thought we were only going for the weekend.
No, so I had my large suitcase.
Large.
The reason
Check
being is because the last time I traveled with my boyfriend, he had a large suitcase and I had a small suitcase, and I was like, dang, I thought we were just going, and it was to the Bahamas. And he's like, well, international, why don't you just bring a large
energy?
Yeah, that's
So you're just
making
matching
sure.
his energy.
That's it.
Oh
That's
my
what
God.
It is. That's what it is.
Wow.
Where did you guys stay?
Baha Mar.
Baha Mar, yeah.
And how's that?
And we did a little bit of a cheat code because Baha Mar has the Grand Hyatt, it has the SLS, and it has the Rosewood. Obviously, the Rosewood is the nicest of the three properties, most expensive, and then it's SLS and then Grand Hyatt. But I guess we kind of knew we were going to be out all day, every day, so it's like we're not going to be in the room. Let's just stay at the Grand Hyatt because I think some of the rooms were comped there, some of them were really inexpensive, and you have access still
To everything.
to all the facilities. So you can use the Rosewood Spa, you can go here, you can go there. You guys, I think all of those properties also share a gym. Like
That's a good tip.
it's like you save a lot of money and you're still reaping all the benefits from that actual resort.
And also, we got to mention the amazing restaurants. They have so many restaurants on property.
Yeah,
they
anything
do.
that you want, from katsuya to like whatever, like fried chicken, brunch places. There's just like everything there.
The last time I went, I stayed at Atlantis because kids. But we came down there and did like, had a little day, a little night there. It's so nice.
It's really nice.
It's nice there. I mean,
so nice.
I'm still not mad at the Atlantis. So the Atlantis has the Cove that I like staying at. So if you ever go to the Atlantis, the Cove is a little bit more.
So initially the Cove didn't allow kids at all, but now kids can stay at the Cove. You just can't be at like the adults pool. But
Yeah, I just don't want them at the pool.
yeah, you
sorry.
can't be at the adults pool, but everything else they can do.
I love going over there for the Nobu. Got to get that Chilean sea baths. Yeah. I love it. They have everything there too. They have shopping there too.
Yeah, the shopping
They
is
have
actually
everything.
pretty good,
Yeah.
and it's tax free.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about the Atlantis too, is also outside of that is the excursions. I feel like Baha Mar has excursions, but like when I was in college, I swam with like the dolphins at Atlantis.
Yeah, I've done that. That's
like,
actually fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Like you get to do other like
My top came off
activities.
accidentally when I was swimming with the dolphins.
You
It was a
didn't have on
bikini.
the
In front of the
I don't think they gave us. This was a long time ago. I don't
Really?
I don't remember them giving us
in front of the
this.
kids.
I didn't.
Girl.
Sahar.
It wasn't intentional. Like I was still in the water. It's not like I popped out of it. I was like, oh shoot, my top. Let me be careful. Yeah,
Felt a little chilly.
a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. But it was good. It was good. Yeah, they do have a lot of excursions.
They
But
do.
I feel like I don't go off of the properties that often. I'll go to Dune, which is at the One and Only, that restaurant. It's amazing. So I'll go there a lot. But
There's not much reason to. I mean, they have everything you could possibly want to do.
Yeah.
But there's things to see in
Like
the
what?
Bahamas outside of the
sure.
resorts. Like they have a little town and stuff.
And the fish fry. I feel
Well,
like
if
the
you've
fish
seen
fry.
it-
I haven't been to I have done a fish fry, but that was a while back. I haven't done fish fry recently, but I heard they're fun.
Yeah, the fish fry is fun. You can hop around to the different restaurants. And actually, this last time that we went, I went to Albany, which is on Nassau, which is like this super exclusive, super private like community, and they have their own like resorts and restaurants like all in there, and it was really dope.
Yeah?
It was really fun. Yeah.
I'll have to check that out next time.
Yeah.
I haven't. seen that.
There's some other little there's a bunch of private islands too that you could just take a little boat to. I saw that David Copperfield has one, which I thought
Really?
was so random.
random.
So random, but it's these private islands, and basically you can, like, if it's a bunch of people going on a trip, you can essentially rent out the whole island.
Oh, that's dope.
When you guys went, did you do that thing with the pigs in the water?
No.
No, that was
swimming pig?
Exuma, but
Oh, okay.
actually this most recent
But
time.
they have like little like trips over.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then there's also other areas in like the Bahamas that you could do it outside of Exuma. So this past time we did like a boat excursion, and we see a whole bunch of pigs on like an island. But Exuma is like they weren't in the water. Like, you know, people swim with the pigs. These were like on
Like
the
sand
island.
pigs.
Like sand pigs. Yeah. And I was like, no, thank
Is that
you.
a real thing?
No.
Yes. No, it's
Oh.
well, I don't
Sand
know. Maybe in the
pigs?
Bahamas. Maybe in the Bahamas.
I don't know.
Sand pigs.
But they-
Are real
they-
thing.
I've always wanted to do that though. I want to see the pigs, and I just never, because I'm typically in Nassau. It's like, you know, it's a little bit of a it's a commitment to take a little day trip over there. You know what I mean?
And they have like sharks. You can swim with the sharks too. Yeah.
No, that's a hard pass on swimming with the sharks. I'm okay.
They're not like the little.
Oh, the toothless ones?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not the
They are toothless. I was somewhere before. I think it was, God, where did we go? We went somewhere where they had a bunch of the toothless sharks in the water, and they're like, jump in, they don't have any teeth. It's
And they have the stingrays where they take the stingers off of them too. So I think I did the same with you.
I've done that with the stingers on though.
With the stingers on.
With the Cayman Islands. They had the stingers on.
They had I've done it with the stingers, yeah.
So how do they not sting you with the, like, that's...
Because you feed them. So I guess they're not.
They don't bother you.
They want to eat, so.
I think it's only when you come like up on top of them where they feel like they're being attacked, and then they might.
I don't even want to test it out. No, thank you.
When we went on a PJ. I was just happy to be there. Not my normal means of transportation, but we got there. Everybody was leaving at different times,
Right.
And I went to the airport. Funny story, because I called you to tell you my story, and you told me your story, and it was even worse. But I went to the airport and realized, like, I had messed my return. I had booked 2 one-way flights, and when I found out we were flying there, PJ, I canceled my outbound flight, and then my return flight, I still had it. So I go to the airport, I check in, and it's not letting me check into the kiosk. I had completely messed my booking up.
Wow.
It was the wrong airport. It was and that's not like me. And I probably am going to leave out the part.
I always hear stories like this. I didn't think they were like for real.
They're for real. They were for
airport
real.
was it?
I don't even remember. I think it was like the next island over. It was something silly that, what I really think it was is, how sometimes you'll type something in and it'll autocorrect in your,
Okay.
in
Yeah.
Oh, that's what happened.
thing.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. I don't know. Whatever it was bad. I'm like, oh shoot, like I don't have it way home. Like,
Oh, wow.
And and it was a holiday weekend, so there was everything was sold out. I literally went counter to counter to counter to counter.
Are you serious?
Yeah, looking for. I mean, there was only about so many counters, but trying to find a ticket home. I was like, I was this close to calling you guys and being like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to come back and just book a ticket the next day. Like that's how bad it was. And then I found some random airline. I think it's called Silver
Airways.
Yes. I had to fly, like,
Is that like Spirit
can you
of the
imagine?
It
Bahamas?
kind of feels. I feel
No,
like
it's
it's
worse.
similar.
It's
worse?
like propellers. It's like it's not. It's different.
It's like a Spirit. I feel like it's like a Spirit. I've actually had Silver in the States too, so I don't think it's just
Really?
international. Yeah.
Well, I never heard of them until this day.
Really?
It cost me an arm and a leg. It was so expensive. And then I had to fly into West Palm, but it was the only way I would have gotten home that day.
And then you just had to Uber down. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and then I just Ubered. It's like an hour Uber ride. So I called to tell this story, and thank goodness I wasn't like, oh, okay, let me just go back to the hotel and fly on the PJ back with them. Because Amanda hits me, and she's like, let me tell you a story. And I was like, no, let me tell you mine. She's like, no. Let me tell you my story. Like,
What happened?
I would be scared to get on a plane again for a long time.
Yeah, okay, so let me take you all back. Let me take you back, Kelly. So pretty much when we went there, like Sahara's joking about the whole luggage thing, but when we were on the flight, all of us, I don't remember who said it, but someone made a comment about us traveling to Bahamas, and something was said about remember when Aaliyah went to the Bahamas when she was filming Rock the Boat with all her luggage? And a comment was made, I don't remember what was said specifically. So I'm thinking about that on the way back.
There is because this plane was small. We're not on it was a private jet, but it was like a smaller private jet. There are weight restrictions.
There are, yeah.
So
you had your
that's
trunk.
Yeah, they had all these trunks, and I'm like, these people.
We had one large bag.
No,
Trunks is crazy.
We have receipts.
Please.
The receipts are on our YouTube channel.
Please.
Receipts are on our YouTube channel.
They're lies. They're all lies. Don't listen to them. No, I'm just joking. But we did have one. I had one large suitcase and maybe a small carry-on. But anyway, so we're on the way back, coming back from the Bahamas, and it's just me and my boyfriend. So we don't have the same size PJ that we had traveling in. And I think it was more or less what was available or what have you, whatever. So anyways, the plane was maybe, I want to say 4 to 6 people could sit on it, and then the actual pilot and the co-pilot. So I was already nervous because I'm like have a fear of like smaller planes, and this plane, I was something just didn't seem right to me, right? But I'm like, okay, whatever. 30 minutes. Bahamas is literally
It's such a quick flight.
So quick. Like you're in the air for 10 minutes. I think you're on the tarmac and like doing check-in longer than you're actually on the actual flight. So we're getting on the flight, and there's 2 young pilots, and they're like, you know, telling us how everything's gonna happen, blah blah blah. So we get up in the air. So as we're in the air, I don't know how many feet up we were in there, but it was high. And the guys, they were like, there was like some type of pump. They were pumping something in the ground, like on the base of the plane. And they were using their hand, and they kept like doing this gesture. And so like, we're both looking at each other, and I'm
like
like
the emergency brake.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. So like, I'm looking at my man, he's cool. I'm like, okay, so maybe it's just me. So I'm like freaking out a little bit. So we're still in the air, and then next thing you know, they look back. One of them looks back at us, and he's like, hey, you know, I don't want to alarm you guys. I don't mean to scare you or anything like that, but we're having trouble with our landing gear.
Nope.
We're over the ocean, by the way. Like,
nope.
We're in the air over the ocean. And
no, because
just imagine
how do you
being,
land at this point, even if you need to turn around?
Imagine you on a flight, and the pilot gets on and says, hey, landing gear is broken. Like, you just, immediately my mind is like paranoid, because I have like a certain set of things that I like to do when I'm traveling. I like make sure I text my mom, and I make sure I text my dad. I'm like, hey, I'm on a flight. When I land, when I get there, and I remember this morning I forgot to text them that we were leaving. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have went and did everything right. You know what I mean? Like, you start replaying in your mind like everything that you didn't do right. I don't know why I thought this, but anyways. So they say this, and I guess they told us they're gonna circle back, and we're gonna go back to the Bahamas and land the plane. So they turned the plane around. They had to circle the airport, and then they went back into the ocean. So at this point, I'm like, why aren't we landing if we went to the airport? So apparently, if you're flying and something's wrong with the plane, before a flight can actually land, air traffic control, you have to fly around it so they can see that something is wrong. So you can't immediately land a plane. Like, air traffic control has to tell you that you're good to land. So we had to fly over the airport. Then they seen that the landing gear, I guess air traffic control can see that the landing gear wasn't working, and then we had to circle back around again.
They radio them and say it's
they
not
did, but they
working?
still have to approve. They still have to see it. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Someone in
That doesn't even
aviation
sound right.
tap into the comments.
This is what they told you?
This is what they told us.
The pilots told you?
Yeah, so, and they had also other planes coming in and going out, so they probably had to make sure timing-wise that they could land at a certain time. So anyways, with the grace of God, we landed, and they were getting ready to find us another small plane. I said, no, I'm already booking a commercial flight. We're getting on a JetBlue or American Airlines. Like, I was like, I wanted no parts of getting on a smaller plane again.
I was
paranoid.
Same way.
Like, my heart, I called my best friend at the airport, and my heart was like, just like,
Oh my God.
pumping out of my chest. Like, I'm like, that's like one of the top 5 scariest moments in my life. And I don't even have 5. So it was definitely top 3. I was scared.
So then y'all were on a commercial flight?
In 30 minutes. I was like, we're straight to the airport. I was ready to get out of there. Yeah, and I had to work that day too, so I had to like figure some stuff out, but I was just happy to be on solid ground. It was scary.
No, that is scary.
It's super scary.
That's scary.
It's all that luggage they packed.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It wasn't the luggage.
It was
It
all
had
the luggage
nothing
they
to do with the luggage. It was the plane. It had
The
nothing
weight
to do with the
probably
luggage.
was like leaning up against the landing gear, and they're
No.
like, see, it's not working now.
No, not at all. But I'm just so happy that that's not the case.
Well,
but you know, when these moments happen, you're like, you think about when they tell you, like, in the beginning of the flight, like, all the emergency things, you start replaying that in your head. Like, where's this, that, and that?
Yeah. I think I've got that whole thing, like, memorized at this point from
Yeah.
the number of flights. But it does start getting you to thinking, like, I always get paranoid. It's like when I see someone older or someone, like, who doesn't look like they would move so too fast or whatever, when they're sitting by the emergency exit door, like, are you going to be able to open that door fast enough?
Yeah, it's a little
I
scary.
always think that in my head, like, are you going to be able to make sure that we're good? Like,
I always
scary.
agree, but I feel like in the emergency situation, I'm not going to have a level head enough to be like working the door.
No, and I'll be
on
honest,
this plane, like
I don't want to sit in the emergency row. I don't like it. I
I'll
don't
sit
like the
there.
pressure. I like to lean when I'm
Are
sleeping.
you aisle or window?
I'm window, but I do not, and I'm window because I'm paranoid. And I just want to see if there's some turbulence. I'm opening that shade to see what's happening outside. Not like I can do anything. I just want to see what's happening.
You want to see the turbulence going on outside.
And I've experienced some really bad turbulence, y'all, but I just got to see, like, okay, we're over lightning. Okay, cool, got it. You know, I just want to see what's happening outside. Have y'all been on any scary flight situations?
Yes.
Really?
I had an engine go out on one of my.
Stop it.
It was one of those really. I was going to Dubai, so it was one of those really big planes. And mind you, the night before, as I was packing, I was watching this stuff about planes crashing. I don't know why.
Why would you watch that before?
And I told the person I was traveling with that, oh man, I saw this story and the engine went out and it fell off and it went and got sucked into the other engine. And he was like, why would you tell me this as we're about to take off? And then we get up in the middle of like the flight and they're like, oh, okay, so one of our engines went out. We still have 3 more, but we're gonna have to land in Turkey and do an emergency landing. And they literally moved everyone from one flight to the other flight in the middle of the like runway.
That's crazy.
Out in Turkey. Yeah, it was crazy.
Thing is when the birds are going into the...
Yeah, because they can mess up the engine.
Yeah, that's really dangerous. That's really dangerous.
I mean, it's really, you know, by the grace of God, we get to where we're going every time.
Yeah, you know they say that flying on a plane is safer than a car.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
But your chances of surviving a car crash versus surviving an air... You're not gonna, I mean...
Unless you're like, there's been some really bad, you know, the accident that Travis was in, was it Travis Barker? Is that? Where like everyone but him and his homeboy, like,
that's scary.
lived.
That's so scary.
Like,
Crazy.
I don't know how I would get back on a plane after that. Yeah. That would be super scary to me. I don't know if I'm getting back on a plane
that's
after
really scary. Like, that would make me paranoid for sure. That's really scary.
Yeah, it's super scary. So, what is it that besides the scary incident that happened?
This went dark.
Went dark. Let's lighten it up. Bahamas is fun. PJs are cool. Don't
Back to
overpack.
Napa, the kitties.
What is your favorite thing about the Bahamas? Because you went back for New Year's.
Yes, my second time in a row actually. So I don't know. I feel like it's like an annual thing. It's becoming now, I guess.
Yeah.
But I really loved what you said. What do I love about it? I really just love that. It's going to the islands. It's like in the backyard, even though Miami is an island, if you ask me. But I love the culture. I love the people. I love the food.
Yeah, the food is good.
The food is good. Yeah, so I'm an island girl, with both my parents being from the island, so I just love doing that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They opened a new location for this private members clubs there.
Yes.
Nexus.
I went actually.
Yeah, how was it?
So it's funny. It was good. So funny enough, for New Year's, we ended up at Drake's party. We ended up at a Drake party for New Year's Eve. But it was cool because he actually rented out Nexus. I don't even know if I'm allowed to even talk about this, but I didn't sign anything, so whatever. But it was at Nexus, and it was really cool. And I was like, oh, this place is like dope. It's actually at Baha Mar. So the next day I went, they have drinks, like private, because you know, people take their families, the kids are there, but this is like private, adults only pools. Drinks are amazing, you could order food there, but it just kind of feels like you're on like a Soho house on the beach, you know? Like, it's like very members only, and it's a cool vibe. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
After I heard about it, I went and looked it up because they have like a location, I think one of their like original locations is right up the street from where I was in New York on Church Street. And they have a really nice like private members location there. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
Church Street, it's like financial district. It's a little bit further down than like where I was, but it looked gorgeous.
Yeah, and they're everywhere. It's like
they're everywhere. They have a whole bunch of locations now, so look it up. It's not the nexus of like global entry nexus thing.
No. Just Nexus,
to be clear.
Nexus members only. And I did a TikTok on it, so if you guys want to see the TikTok, I did it on my page. But it was really cool. It was cute. I like it.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to do like a live trip. We didn't think about it when we were going on that Bahamas trip because it was really just R&R, but we're gonna have to take a trip where we do it, bring everyone live. And
that'll be fun.
Bring me.
Yes, you have to come this time.
Yeah, she'll actually make it this time.
For it.
Do we have Justin's passport straight
We're
now?
all straight now.
Okay,
we are all straight.
So now we can make
Passport
moves.
is good to go.
Now we can make
Passport
moves.
secured. I love that.
So what's next for your travel destinations?
Oh, well, I'm still kind of like mapping out travel for the year, but so far I have a wedding actually in Paris in the middle of the top of summer. So I'm excited about that. My girl's getting married. I think I may have a wedding in Dubai this year.
Okay, now that I like.
And then, I'm just trying to figure out some more travels. We got to add some more travels to the calendar, but those two I know for sure.
I love it. Where's your bucket list destination you want to go to?
Ooh, that's a good one. I have so many. I want to go to Africa. Like,
Me too.
Yeah, what part?
I've never been to Africa. I want to go to Ghana. I want to go to, like, just, I want to explore Africa as a whole. Like, I feel like I got to go back to the motherland. So I want to go to Africa. That's for sure on my list. What else? Where else do I want to go? There's so many places. I want to go to Turkey. Never been to Turkey.
Turkey's amazing.
There's so many. Ugh,
What's your
goodness.
favorite foodie city?
In the U.S.?
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Foodie city.
It could be global.
Okay, if it's global, if I have to pick an international place, I loved Bali. Like, food-wise,
Yeah.
I feel like I got to eat so many different things, and it's so inexpensive to travel there.
Yeah.
Like, the flight is expensive, of course,
But
because
once
it's
you
so
get
far,
there-
but once you get there, you can explore. I want to go to Thailand. That's also
Oh,
on my
I love
list.
Thailand. One of my faves.
I have to go
One
to
of my
Thailand.
faves.
Yeah, so I have
Okay.
so many places I want to go, like Maldives.
Maldives.
That's how I feel when somebody asks me that question. I'm like, I'll be here all day telling you
Yeah.
everywhere I want to
Places-
go. Yeah.
Travel necessity must have.
Skincare.
Yeah.
That's important.
I gotta have my skincare. Of course, the clothes, but that's obvious. But skincare is
Because the water
on
in
that
other
list.
places, I feel like can
Isn't
be a
always-
little-
Yeah.
And the flight itself, like, dries out your skin. Skincare.
And then last question, travel pet peeve.
Ooh, we just talked about this on the Elevators podcast. My travel pet peeve is people who get up right when the plane lands.
Oh gosh.
It's the most irritating thing to me because I'm just like, they didn't even open the doors. Where are you running to? Like, we all want to get off. And I feel like if everyone got off with their row, it would be so
But
organized.
it's rude. If you're
It's
in
rude.
67F, why are you jumping up? You're all the way up here at 14C. Like, what are you doing?
It's so rude. And
It's so rude.
It's annoying. I
It's
feel like if you don't have
unnecessary.
like a connection and your flight is about to, that happened to me actually
It
when we
is
went to Paris. We missed
so
our connection
rude.
because we
Stop
didn't get off
doing
on
that.
time. But it's the worst.
No,
Coughing, sick,
Yeah.
anybody that's sick, loud music and loud conversations on the phone, on speakerphone. I feel like a lot of the older people do it when they're on the flights.
Yeah.
But that's it. I don't really complain about babies and stuff like that because I feel like
They
you
can't
can't
control.
help it.
Well, I'm not going to complain about a baby because you can't help that, but I will complain about the way the parent is dealing with it. Like, if the parent is just ignoring what's going on completely, then it's like, come on, sis.
Yeah.
Oh man, well
No.
thank you for coming on.
Of course. Thank you, ladies, for having me.
You'll have to come back after we do the Bahamas again.
Yeah.
Yes, for
Yes.
sure. Yes.
We'll do that.
And then we're gonna do somewhere really, really cool.
Yes, let's do it.
Let's
I'm
do
down.
it. Let's
I'm
have a good
down.
time.
I always love traveling, so
Yes.
let's
Yeah.
do, let's
Any
do this,
excuse
let's do
to
this
travel.
somewhere.
Yes.
Any excuse to
All right.
travel.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone,
Thank you.
for joining us for yet another episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. We're on YouTube and all your favorite social channels, and all your favorite podcast platforms. Until next time, stay fly.
And carry on.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.